It feels like sometimes maybe we're overlooked because we don't have a team of people.
I just don't see the benefits, really.
We're doing 2 million a year.
Just be wary of people selling this dream.
It's almost so simple that people just overlook it.
When revenue goes up, VAT and tax also go up.
You're building your model on the right foundations. In this video, we're going to talk about the business model that you should have if you're an online coach.
Hey guys, we are Dan and Mike from Business and Banter, formerly Biceps and Banter in a previous life, and we're here today to help you with your online fitness business in any way that we can. And today, we're going to talk about the business model that would probably be perfect for, I reckon, 99% of online coaches in terms of what they want to get out of life, what they want to get out of their finances, and also probably from our point of view, probably ease of running it, ease of probably being able to take holidays and kind of generally living a day-to-day life that you probably are looking for. So we're going to break it down, show you what it looks like, probably show you hopefully how achievable it is. I don't think people talk about that because everything you see these days is all these huge revenue targets, all these big numbers, and they'd be banded around willy-nilly. Yeah, don't like that in the workplace. And we just thought we'd just break down maybe what you should be aiming for and what we believe is an extraordinary business for most people who are an online coach. Because Mike's got a bit wound up recently seeing a lot of stuff from some other people.
Yeah, a couple of things.
A little bit. Not like Mike to get wound up, is it?
A couple of things, I think. Talking of £99, the price of our members group.
Can't get a lot for £99 these days, can you, to be fair? You can't get a lot.
Not in this day and age.
No, you don't get really anything.
What you can get?
What can you get?
Our members group. What is it?
What's in that?
Just everything that you need to grow a fitness business online.
What, everything I need to grow this type of business model that you're talking about that would be perfect for 99% of people?
Yeah, everything, you know.
Well, that one.
If you're thinking about content, yeah, we got it. Marketing, yeah. Sales, yeah. Onboarding, yeah. Retention, yeah. Coaching, yeah. All of it. So
most importantly, being a good coach, that's half of it, isn't it? Be good at your job. That's as Roy Keane would say. It's your job,
though, isn't it?
It's your job, though, isn't it? Yeah, I think it's, again, online, you see all this stuff banded around of what people are earning, what people are making and the revenue. And realistically, being an online coach is actually a very lean business. It doesn't require shitloads of expenses and shitloads of staff and outgoings and all that sort of stuff. The biggest one probably being tax if you're living in the UK. So it really comes down to, the amount of hours you put in your work ethic is probably the biggest expense going on here. And I would also say not falling for fucking stupid mentors charging you $5,000. If you don't do that, you'll save yourself some money as well. Part of the reason we made the £99 a group, £1 a month, £99 a month even group we're talking about. So yeah, Mike was having a conversation the other day with one of his clients, I think, around, one of his clients was comparing himself to someone else who was doing, I think double the revenue, but actually had the same profit margin in the business. And you're kind of like, well, what are you worried about then?
Same absolute profit, obviously worse profit margin. But so my client Lee, who's done really well, we've just got up to £24,000 a month, the recurring, and he got a couple of friends that are in the 40 to 50 K a month bracket. On his last call with me, he was like, I was speaking to so-and-so, and they're doing X amount between 40 and 50, but they're only coming out the same as me. I said, well, who's got the better business then? And then I kind of went off on a little bit of like, if you're coming out with the same profit, and let's just say for argument's sake and for ease of maths, just to stick a number on it, let's just say the other coaching question was doing 44,000 revenue and coming out with 24,000 profit, the same as Lee. To me, that's just £20,000 worth of headache. Like, it's almost pointless earning it if it's going to go back out, because that £20,000 is spent on ads, staff who have sick days, poor performance at times, might leave your company. You've got to hire them, fire them, run performance reviews, hold them accountable to, I guess, SOPs. And it's almost like, well, just get rid of all of that and come out with the 24 grand. Because like Dan said, it's a really lean business model. Like, you literally just need a laptop and a Wi-Fi signal, and that's it. Now, am I saying don't aim to hit 40 or 50K a month? No, because I actually think it's pretty doable. And again, in this video, we'll show you some rough maths of how I would build a £40,000, £50,000 a month business, but come out with more profit than that. And I think that it's the age-old phrase is what is it? Revenue is vanity and profit is sanity, right? And it's true. It's like, almost like this industry's got a bit of ego with it now, where it's like, oh, I need to hire these VAs, these setters and closers, and I've got a fucking social media CEO and stuff like that. And it's like, it's all for show. Like, it's all for show. We don't have VAs or setters or closers or fucking support staff or fucking social media managers. Like, I almost don't get it. I think it's wanting to feel like you're running a business, but it's wasted effort, in my opinion. Effort that could be put elsewhere. So, like, even within our business, so you look at it and you go, this guy who Lee had been talking to, at £20,000 a month expenses, it's not far off the expenses we've got in our business, but we're doing $2 million a year, and he's got the same expenses as us. How? Again, it just doesn't make sense. So I think sometimes frustrates us a little bit in terms of, like, it feels like sometimes maybe we're overlooked because we don't have a team of people. But the easiest way I could describe this, so if we're coming away with 2 million profit a year, in the same business model that every other business mentor runs, which runs, they operate usually at around 50% profit margin, we'd have to build a £4 million business to come out with the same as what we're doing now, or we could just keep it the same. Like, it doesn't make sense to do that extra £2 million worth of legwork to come out with the same. And hopefully that kind of larger number accentuates the point a little bit more, where you go, well, yeah, that wouldn't make sense, would it? So then it also doesn't make sense at a 20 to 40k level, or a 10 to 20k level, or a 5 to 10k level. It's the same thing. So you're building your model on the right foundations. So yeah, it's one of these things, I think, where most coaches, 99%, and again, not all coaches, right? Because there's going to be people that do blow up with things, that probably do need staff to help with certain things, of course. But honestly, it'll be 1%, if that, by the way, if 1 out of 100. Like,
I just don't think that many people are asking, many of the mentors especially, and that kind of, are asking these coaches what they want out of it. One of the biggest things I do with people when they first join is I ask them what they want out of this. I ask them what is important. I ask them to rate certain things that are going on in terms of importance, because, like you just said there, it's like, do you want to offload it to loads of staff and potentially worsen your reputation? You may or may not. Do you want to scale to the moon? Do you want to go to 100, 200k months? Do you want to do all those things? Because I suppose the slight argument that some people could have back to what we're saying is, oh yeah, but if you want to scale, then you can't just do it all yourself. You're going to have to outsource to people. And I would go, yeah, if you want to go to 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever, cool, yeah, million, yeah, you might need to, right? Fair enough. I just don't think that many people are asking the question and going, what do you want to do? Because if you were to ask an online coach, again, okay, if you were on 40k a month, would you be happy with that? Is that, where you want to be? And they were like, yeah, oh my God, then again, at that point, you don't need to do this crazy shit. It's only if you go fucking crazy beyond it that you probably couldn't. But like Mike said, using us as an example, well, we've only got 2 coaches on board that work with us. It's not like we've got loads of people we rely on. So I just don't think that they're being very transparent, these mentors, when they talk about this sort of stuff. I think that what happens is coaches go in naively, not really knowing what to do. They see the people that got these big numbers and they go, well, these other people are doing this, so everyone now must do this. Everyone must have a setter. Everyone must have a VA. Everyone must have coaches that work underneath them. And what if that's not what you want? What if that isn't your idea of a good business? What if that isn't the thing you want? And I just know from speaking to a lot of coaches that the headaches that Mike refers to would be their worst nightmare. A lot of them find it a struggle just motivating themselves and getting themselves to do the right amount of stuff, and worry a lot about what they're doing, never mind other people as well. So with that in mind, I think it's important that for me, when we look over some of our really successful coaches, and probably I want to talk about like the intersection between where I've got a graph, the intersection between, like, say, money going up and maybe the amount of free time going down, where that intersects to find a sweet spot. And for me, I think it would be from the numbers that I would roughly run. Again, I need to double check them. I'll get my phone out in a second when Mike's talking. I reckon if you had 50 one-to-one clients paying you £200 a month, and you ran a group coaching program 3 times a year with 50 people in it, I think that take-home pay would put you in a very, very good position. And I think the amount of free time you would have to then create your content, have time off, go to the gym and do all those other things would be in my mind, from what I see with a lot of coaches, the sweet spot. I've got a few coaches at the moment who are there now, and they just love it. They've got no desire to grow beyond that. They want me there on hand to kind of be more efficient with certain things, but they are more than happy for a year or two to stay there before they figure out which direction they want to go with stuff. And having those conversations is from a place of, like you said, really lean, no staffing costs, no issues, no concerns, building up some capital in the business to be able to kind of make a decision to know where they want to go, or have the security of having that. And I just think it's being massively overlooked by so many other mentors, just promising all these crazy big numbers and these crazy things without actually speaking to coaches and going, what do the majority of them actually want from this? Because I think there is definitely a trade-off when you go to those levels and those numbers. Again, I hear the stories and I hear from coaches who've got to that point is it's just non-stop stress and headaches and anxiety about the staffing, about the ad costs, about all this sort of stuff, that if those don't work anymore, the business doesn't work. And that's just not a great place to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to run those numbers. I'm interested to see.
I'm just going to run the numbers.
Yeah.
So like the way that we would scale the business beyond that then is that if you are, and by the way, like 50 clients at £200, 10k a month, 120k a year, 50 clients will probably take you 2 days of check-ins. That's pretty damn good for 120 grand a year. Like it's almost so simple that people just overlook it, and it's like that's all you need to do, get to 50 clients at 200 a year, and you get a 6-figure business, 120 grand. It's nice, comes out great, and people almost like turn their nose up at it. But if you are wanting to scale, the thing that I would scale with wouldn't be a VA or a sales team or a social media manager. I'd bring on a coach. So like as Dan says, is that if you did have a group product, get your coach to coach on the group, and that's it. Because when you bring on a coach, it actually doesn't cost you anything in the way that we would bring them on, because they just get paid a cut of the money that they are, I guess, servicing in terms of clients. So for example, if they've got themselves 50 clients, or you've got passed on 50 clients at £200 and they're bringing in 10k revenue, you would pay them a split of that. Let's just say 50-50 for ease of maths. So you're making 5k profit out of having that coach. So it actually doesn't cost you anything until it's making you money. But that's how easy it would be to do.
142,500 a year it would be to do that model I just mentioned. That's and then good. After VAT and corp tax, you'd be at 96,000. You'd obviously have to pay personal tax on how you decide to do that. But I think for a lot of coaches, that would be that's your take-home pay. That's your salary. Like, but effectively, if you were to have a job in any other place, 96k a year ain't too bad as a salary, right? For, like Mike just said there, looking at those, and 2 full days of coaching, 3 days of content, 2 days off. Not bad, is it really? Like when you look at, again, the sort of salary there, what you'd be working out in London, how many hours you'd be working in London if you were there, in finance or for something like that in London, you'd be working all the hours God sends, plus having to commute everywhere and do all that sort of stuff. I just think that people aren't being realistic about what could be achieved. Now, do we think that's going to happen in 6 months for you? Probably not. No, I think you have to be realistic and go, this is probably going to be good 2 years worth of content, building a brand, building some authority, and you could get to that point. But again, how many businesses can you go from zero to 2 years and earn that sort of money, right? It's crazy when you look at it. But I just think that too many people are wowed by all the other stuff that's going on, all the other things that people are talking about with those numbers. And then, like Mike said, if you bring on another coach and you have them deal with half of those people on that group, and then they do some upsells off the back of that, you could be looking at that business going up to 180, 190 a year, which are numbers that are just, again, a lot of people probably just can't even think to I probably never even dreamed of. They probably didn't even think about that when they got into coaching. But that's my point, is like people are talking about the crazy months, the 40 to 50s, and I just don't think that many people have got aspirations to do that when they first start out. I think it's about being realistic and going, look, you can make a really, really good solid wage out of this. And I think that the business model that we preach and we talk about, honestly, is the one that will get you the quality of life you want as well that comes with it. It's not that crazy in terms of hours worked.
Yeah, and I think like to if you are going to grow from there, so like Dan said there, I think 2 years, 3 years, 50 clients, 200 quid. There's nothing wrong with that. Again, I think people expect it to...
No one wants to hear that. They think they want more than that, don't they? They just don't think... I've had some people come in and they go, oh yeah, like, by the end of the year I'd like to be on 30 clients. I'm like, you're on 0.
It's the expectations.
It took me 3 years to get to 30. Yeah. Like you said, the expectations. And I think it's because of that thing of people just say, oh, you get 10 guaranteed clients this month, 10 whatever. And it's, again, if they could guarantee it, as we've said before on previous podcasts, if they could guarantee it, then everyone would be with them, wouldn't they? Like, why would you Of course you would, but they can't guarantee it, can they? That's the whole point. And like, I just think that so many people have sold this dream, and the caveat to this, of course, is that I think that people forget that to get to those numbers, you're going to need to be a full-time content creator. Like, you're going to need to be someone that can create a brand that stands for something, that shows they stand for something and is an authority. And I think the way that other people get you in is they just talk about ads, they talk about not needing to make content, they talk about templated content. And I always come back to the same thing, which is like, yeah, but that doesn't leave you a brand to fall back on. Whereas what we're talking about, you've got a brand that you can fall back on at any one point in time. If you create that demand in your group coaching program and demand in your coaching because of the results you get, you're never going to be wanting for clients, in my opinion. But the trouble that we come up against all the time with clients is no one wants to do the group that gets 10 people in it. No one wants to start off the month where they do 10 online clients and they celebrate it because it's deemed not good enough. And I'm sorry, but it is good enough. Like, when you're first starting out, those first 10 clients are some of the hardest 10 clients you'll get. The first 20, some of the hardest 20 you'll get. And that business model, please do not be distracted by these glorified, amazing sort of numbers that you see banded around, and when a lot of it is just based on advertising, and it's just based on throwing shitloads of money behind ads, and again, a profit margin that's not actually that great and not actually that sustainable realistically for most businesses.
Yeah, so like how I would get to the 44k and have a better profit margin. So like, let's just say that you've worked up, you've done your 3 years, and then you increase your clients up to say 60, and now you're charging £250. So that's 15k a month. At that 15k a month, you would have, let's just say, 2 coaches at 60 each, right? Charging 200. So a graduated kind of payment scale. Your coaches at 200, you at 250. So if they've got 60 each, and only 2 coaches, by the way, so you could spend a year and a half getting a coach full at 60, and another year and a half getting a coach full at 60, okay? So by this point, let's just say it took you 3 years to build yourself up, and then 3 years again, so 6 years. So each coach brings you 12k, so that's 24k per coach, and you're making 20 grand. So that's £44,000, right, that you're making per month. Times that by 12, 528,000, plus, let's just say 3 group launches. Let's just be conservative and say 50 a launch. But again, that's not anything crazy. So 50, let's say you're charging 120 quid a launch, so that's 6 grand a launch, plus 18. So you're looking at £550,000 after 6 years. And that's not me going 10 coaches at ridiculous numbers. That's not me saying charge £1,000 up front or £3,000 up front. That's going, do we think you can get up to 60 clients after, by the way, by this endpoint, 6 years? Do we think you can get up to 60 clients by 6 years charging 250? And between year 3 and year 6, do we think that we can get 2 coaches full at 60 over the course of 3 years with 50 clients 3 times a year coming through the door? Yeah, I think you can. So that's your 44k. But you're not having to pay out a team. Yes, you're going to pay some commission split to your coaches, depending on what split that you've got. But you're not starting each month from almost like, right, well, I've got to pay this member of staff, that member of staff, that member of staff. Because remember, if their clients drop, they get paid less. So you almost can't lose. And with coaches, and if you employ coaches, you almost hedge your bets a little bit. So it's almost like splitting your money over investments. It's almost like if you take a drop, one of your coaches might have gone up. Or if one of your coaches takes a drop, you might have gone up. So it's almost like splitting it across. Like, that's the easiest way to me, like, bar none. And again, I think coaches will go, well, that's 6 years though. If in 6 years you can have a £500,000 business that's that simple to run, that's not a lot, what we've just said there. It's unbelievable.
Like you said, that's the problem, is that no one wants to do the 6 years of work, and the 6 years of content, and the 6 years of building a brand, and the 6 years of building authority, and the 6 years of being a better coach and getting better results, and dealing with, you know, the clients that drop off quick, or having to deal with people that maybe the clients aren't the best fit. No one wants to do that anymore. Everyone wants the perfect clients to come in. They want them to work hard and have no problems, no issues, no emotions, be like robots, do what they're told, get the amazing result, and no one wants to do the work for it. That's what we're coming up against time and time again, which is why a lot of these other, I guess, other mentors, again, with the way that they splash these numbers around, that's why they're getting people come to them, because they know what you want. They know you don't want to wait 6 years, whereas we're going to tell you the truth and go, look, it might take you 6 years.
It might take you less. I've got clients that it's taken less. I've got Thomas.
Yeah.
He's just brought, so Thomas came in, I think with 12 clients, I want to say. He's now at 70 personal clients. He's got 2 coaches full at 60, and we've just brought in his 3rd coach. And that's within 3 years. So it can do quicker, but set your expectations for 6 years.
I just don't, like, it comes back to that starting point, as I just don't think many people sit down and ask coaches what they want. And I'm sitting there now, and if you come to me saying, yeah, Dan, I'd love a £500,000 business, I'm going, right, let's strap in for 6 years then. That would be what I'd say to you. And I just think that people's expectations are off. If you come into me saying, Dan, I want a business that you've just described there before, where, again, I can have a 96k salary, I'm like, okay, cool. Like you said, 3 years. You go, wicked, 3 years. And I just think people are so put off by that. And I get a lot of clients come in and they start off with the right intentions. They start off saying I'm in it for the long haul. They start off saying I'm in it for 3 years. 3 months down the line, though, yeah, that motivation starts to wane a little bit. And I have to refer back to when we started out and when we were together, when we were with Team Boxing, even before then. We were stuck on 30 clients for probably 2 years. 30 clients probably, and even before that, it took me another 2 years to build up to even 30 when I was working for another company. Like, it's not as easy as everyone makes it out to be. I don't think with that, and it is definitely compounding. The more years you spend it, the quicker you've got that opportunity to rise up and do it. I'm sure Thomas is the same. If you looked at the years he's done it, you look at the most recent year, and it would have just been that massive trend up once you know what you're doing and know what works. But that's the trouble. People aren't prepared to do that bit. So I think in terms of the perfect online, business and online group, online fitness business, that for me would be the prime thing to aim for. Would be 50 one-to-ones, group launches 3 times a year, 50 people in. That would be the holy grail. I think I want to say 75% of online coaches, if they got to that point, they'd be extremely happy and they would be content, and they wouldn't necessarily have huge desires to scale further than that because of what it would take to do it. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, and you're happy to be there. But just be wary of people selling you this dream, because a lot of it is caught up in big revenue numbers, but then huge expenses on the flip side of it that people just aren't happy with. And I've seen what happens with that. Because the other thing we haven't touched on, by the way, which we could go deeper into if we really wanted to, is that when revenue goes up, VAT and tax also go up. Like, that's the other thing about that, is that if you pay, obviously with corp tax, you have your expenses come off, then you pay it, but VAT you don't. That just straight up is your revenue. So if you double in your revenue and your profit margin is not as good, or is the same, like Mike said, absolute profit's the same, you're forgetting that as you go up in that, you just got to pay more and more of that. So it's just, I just don't see the benefits really from doing it unless you've got big dreams to go fucking absolutely mental with that.
Yeah, there's lots of things we could go in on this on this one, isn't there? I mean, we've not even gone into charging up front or recurring or whatever. Like, obviously, maybe I'll kind of leave. Yeah, it kind of ties in. Maybe I'll leave this little quick story there. So I had a consultation last week, maybe 10 days ago, something like that, with a girl who had been working with like a marketing agency style mentor, and previous to working with them, I think she said that she had 60 clients charging €200, she's Irish, a month, so 12k a month, and she was getting roughly around 120 people on group launches 3 times a year, which is high. So she's gone in with a really good business, and what she should have been told is probably get some staff to help you with your group launches, and then start to get your coaches full from there. But instead what she got told was, get rid of the group launches, low ticket is dead, and change the billing cycle of your current clients. So the 60 clients that were paying a €200 recurring, they said charge them for 4 months, but give them a €50 discount. So charge them €750 instead of the 800, right? I believe she had a couple drop, and then an amount of them paid it. So let's just say out of a 60, let's just say all 60 paid it. They didn't, but let's just say all 60 did. It then looks like she's kind of 3 point something X to her monthly income, right? Because she's charging for almost 4 months because of the discount. So then the social proof then goes out of so-and-so has gone from this to this in one month. Then there's money behind the mentor into a paid ad on that piece of social proof. But it's so misleading. It's really misleading because, well, her business is actually worse off because she's actually collected less money than those 60 would have paid her over the 4 months. And obviously it's not a huge amount, right? Let's just say it's all of them, 60, and you've given her a 50 discount. Yeah, it's only $3,000 over the 4 months, so it's not a huge amount, but it's still technically less, still technically lower. So it's not social proof, is it? But it's been made to look like so-and-so has gone from this to this. But then she said to me, and then I got 0 the next month, and then I got 0 again, and then I'm starting to panic, and my business starts to be founded on me having to make some sales. And then when the renewal came round, she dropped a few because they didn't want to pay the 750 again. So when it comes to business models, just use a bit of common sense, right? If a business mentor tells you to switch your current client's billing cycle to 3, 4, 12 months, 6 months, whatever, to anything other than recurring, if they say switch your current clients, like whether you take some upfront payments or not, it's completely up to you. But if they tell you to change your current client's billing cycle, they're in it for one reason, right? Because they know that a portion of your current clients will pay it. It will make you look like you've had a really successful first month, and then after that, you're fucked. Be wary of that. So when we talk about business models, please charge 80 to 90% recurring, right? If someone wants to pay you for 6 months or 12 months, okay, cool. Don't advertise it. Don't try to sell it. 80 to 90% recurring. Please just do that.
Let's not even go into the fact that a low ticket offer is a great lead generation tool for
literally
one-to-one as well.
It's dead. It's dead. What does that mean?
Jesus. That is some of the worst advice I've heard.
It's bad, isn't it?
That's all. Like genuinely awful advice. Like, I think sometimes with coaches, because they don't know any better, I think there's also this thing, right? When you don't know any better and you look to someone to trust them and you're paying them money and you trust them, right? There is an element of this where you're allowed to trust your gut as well. And I think that some coaches, I know certainly some of the ones I worked with, they come to me on calls and we talk through things and they go, I'm thinking of doing this, what do you think? And I think they're expecting me to go, no, it's dog shit idea, do this because I say so. And I go, well, do you think it'll work? And they go, yeah. I go, do you believe in it? Yeah, you passionate about it? Yeah, I think it's really, really good. I think it'll work. Well, here are the cons. Here's why some of the things that may go wrong, but here's some of the things I think it'll work. It will do well. And they go, I wasn't expecting you to say that. I was expecting you just to tell me that you had to do it a certain way. I was like, no, like, trust your gut. If you think you can make it work, then do it. Because again, arguably that's what we've done, right? That's what we've done. A lot of the stuff we've done has been based on what we think is right and what we believe to be right. Again, like we've talked about this in other content. I know if a bigger mentor comes into our business now, they're going to say, stop doing delivery. Stop doing it, and I'm going to know because my gut tells me this is the right thing to do because people want it from us and I want to deliver it because I want to make sure that I can control the performance of it and the result. I just think that sometimes coaches that, again, I understand that you're paying all that money out and you're trusting someone, but it just shows you that there's some fucking idiots out there, sharks out there that just want your money and they actually don't care about you. So remember, it's your business as well. You're allowed to trust your gut to a certain degree with some of the things, especially with that advice. Jesus Christ, that is awful.
Poor, isn't it?
Extremely poor. Anyway,
there we go.
That's that. Catch you the next one.
Bye.